Fast Food Podcast. I go by the name of Morgan Heights. I'm with my boy Drizzy Sakafet Freckles.
Hey.
We have a special guest today, a good friend of mine actually, and it's weird. Our social circles are usually because we're running backwards and forwards from school. And I see this gentleman with his kids flying through with the pushchair, one on the shoulder, holding the other one, right, like on a man on a mission. And I'm just with my one youth just going, yeah, man, go. Cool.
Rough, you know what I mean?
And you know what? It's crazy because the fact is this is a very talented gentleman.
I've heard.
And he's been doing bits.
You know how I knew he was?
Bits.
You know how I knew he was doing bits? He's one of them Donnies that got press shots. You know the headshots? That's how I knew he's out there. He's out there doing bits. I know, bro. That's what separates the men from the boys. You know, when they got the headshots. Proper, yeah.
He's been doing bits, and we've been trying to get him on the show for a while, but obviously scheduling, conflictions, everything else. You know, it is one of them things. But finally, we have him here. Fast Food Podcast. We want to introduce our guest.
Okay, sorry,
Mike.
sorry.
Actor Darren Hart. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, gentlemen. It's good to be here. Finally, I'm in the building.
Finally.
In the building.
How's it going? You right? You was right getting here?
Listen, I'm good. A little journey still. Got here. I was like, oh, I'm in the right place still. Walked past about 4 times. I thought, ear to the door. Yeah, I'm there. Still want to brocky in and like, see something else happening. So I knew I'd get in the right building.
How you been, my brother?
Brother, I've been good, brother. I've been good.
What's been happening?
Life's been good to me. I can't complain. Like, I'm doing a theatre show right now. I've got a couple of other TV bits still to come out. Agents. I'm doing a play called Dead Air. So it's going to be Riverside Studios, 7th till the 16th of October. April, Rookie October. April, little tester idea that they want to try and have a later life on. But man, I'm just trying to keep busy, brother. Trying to keep busy.
Just getting involved in
man.
Moving and shaking. And
absolutely.
That. So, like, we know each other in passing and brief conversation. I believe I've been to one of your daughter's parties.
Oh, absolutely. You know, for the party.
And they throw it down.
Yeah.
They throw it down.
All right.
But I wanted to ask you a few series of questions. One is acting your main source of income?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to be able to say that acting is what pays the bills. I juggle one thing on the side. Everyone's got their side hustles.
Of course.
But I'm blessed to be able to say, if someone goes, what's your job? I'm an actor.
As you do. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, right? That your passion is what pays the bills.
Oh, absolutely. You know, people say that line of, boy, if you find something you love doing, it's not work when you do it.
Exactly.
And I'm blessed to be able to say that.
Yeah, man, because like you talk about certain things for free. Whether it's fashion, whether it's movies, whether it's sneakers, whether it's, do you know what I mean? And it's like, if you're getting paid to do that, it's not work, is it? It's just, you know what I mean? Getting paid for your thoughts and your passion. So yeah, big up yourself, man.
What would you say your biggest role has been so far?
That's a question I get asked and I struggle with because it falls into different streams. Because if you're an adult, what would be the project that would resonate more with you is a film that I did start up. Yes. So that was the prison drama that had nothing of man them in. It was like a passion project for all of us. Like, we still talk now, all the man them in that group. Like, there's love for all of us. And that's the one that people go, I get man them looking and go, hey, Bridget. I see you get beat up in the movie. I'm like, all right, blood. But I dealt with the man later. But I don't. It was acting, When they said cut, I jumped up and it was on. So, for that world.
I see you with the little Jesus piece on, and I was like, yo, brother, how you
He's done time.
Yeah, he's done time, brother.
Yes, I had the grey tracksuit on. I was there. I was giving it life. Had to let a man do what he had to do. But I know when they said cut, I had him. So, for the adults, it's that movie. But then... When I'm kind of like the biggest success, some people go, if you've got kids now, it was my life on Giggle Biz. Like, I spent a long time on CBBC. I was there for like 4 series playing Reggie. So I was just living that life. But for me, it kind of sits in different pockets. Like, there's projects that I'm more passionate about, like the shows that I've loved doing. But it depends on what resonates with you as in my success. But I feel like I've been blessed enough to kind of have success on different planes. So blessed.
What's your background?
How'd I get in type vibe? My parents, humble background, working hard, doing their thing to give me a life that I wanted. And for me, I fell into acting. I did it for fun, but I never saw it as, this is going to pay my bills. I always had that head on watching my parents graft to go, what's my job?
Right.
So I got to a point, 16, 17, and I was doing dramas for fun, youth theatre and that kind of jazz. But then it was like, what's my job going to be? So I was going to go uni and do like a marketing degree, look at getting into like presenting and do that kind of thing, using my talent, but in a professional line that is, it's got a paycheck, you know what I mean? It's got a contract. But it never happened. I got 16, took a gap year, and I kept working. I stayed in theatre. I got exposed to a lot more. I got jobs constantly, and it kept going. And then I'm out here now, and I'm still out there. So,
Darren, is the acting fraternity and that whole thing more about rubbing shoulders with the people you know? Because why I asked you about your background, a lot of friends of mine, their background is theatre, background is school, acting school, and then coming through the ranks. Through like, I don't know, you've been like the Bill,
yeah,
and things of that
right.
nature.
What was that kids school one?
Oh, Great Hill.
Yeah, like it seemed like everyone in their mum, not their mum.
Yeah.
Sylvia Young.
Yeah.
Sylvia
Drama
Young
school,
you're talking about.
Yeah, just no.
Oh, it's like the TV shows that they went in. But
it's going
it went through Sylvia Young, Natalia
yeah.
Conte, them places there. For me, it is, as you say, that question about how do you break in, it is a lot of who you know. But I also feel that you can know the world, but if your ability can't back it up, there's no point knowing anybody. Right. And I feel that what you have to do is give yourself the tools that when that situation arises, when you're riverman, go, you know what? I've got this thing coming up because I know you. Let me just see you.
Yeah.
Because a man ain't going to give you a job just because he knows you.
Yeah,
like, that world don't work. Your ability has to back it up.
First.
And that's why if you can rub shoulders with the right people, you move up the ranks faster if you've got the ability. Right. But if you ain't got the ability, it don't get you nowhere. You can be friends with everyone, but you'll get exposed at some point. People are like, rah, how they put him in that when you can't cut it?
Yeah, and this is the only thing you wanted to do, Darren.
Yeah, it's a thing that's always called me, other than doing like a sports presenter, taking over Match of the Day. That was like the only other place I saw myself going, or Jonathan Pierce on 5 Live, and it's going crazy. Acting was always the love. Like I was the kid who danced in front of the TV to like the intro to EastEnders. You know when you're supposed to be going to bed? I'm like, let me buy a little time and bust a dance.
Yeah.
So what? So off the back of that, like you said, you was dancing to EastEnders theme song. Like what was you doing? Is it like the 2-step? Was it the bogle?
It was more like it was on the rock. It was more like the top rock. It was short. But I got the solution so the hips were working too. Sit there. Okay. There it is. There it is.
I'm not gonna question your dancing abilities with that.
From you know the bloodline.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But my question is, what's the diff? Because we hear about the theatre, right? And some people know, like, say for example, Samuel Jackson. He has a theatre background. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that adds to your range in regards to what you're able to do. So he can go from being a police officer like the other guys to then being like playing that role, even though it kind of makes you go, damn, I wish it wasn't Sam. In Django, when he's playing Steven, right? Like the guy who's so against black people because he grew up in a white household. To then something like, where he's like playing the Nick Fury, the MCU. So like, can you break it down? Like either the differences between going through the theatre route and going through the movie route, or the training that, because I'm sure your brain has to train differently for theatre because it's not a one and done thing. It's a every night kind of thing for a period of time.
Theatre, one of the biggest differences with theatre is the amount of time you get to rehearse.
Right.
So with theatre, you get a script beforehand, but then you get time with the other actors to build something. Yeah. You get to build a chemistry, you get to find that relationship, and you get to really break down the script. You do a lot of things like uniting, where you go, what's my actions, what's my thought in each section? So you break things down over a longer period of time. So when you get to that first show, you're far more ready. You're like, I'm in this character, I'm there, I'm living it. So that's why when you hear about like Hollywood A-listers and they talk about like playing the lead in a movie and they go, I had to take myself away for time. That's what they're doing. They're doing that. But when you're coming in and you're just doing like a short stint in a show, you reach and you're supposed to know your lines and you meet the actor for the first time on set and you find a chemistry in seconds and you make it work. So you don't sometimes get that substance. So when you're an actor who has got a theatre background, at home you can break things down differently. Also, just said about that exposure to other characters. You see things differently. And I think if I was to tell anyone out there, do both, because there are two very different skills you learn. Theatre just said that live audience. When you do something live, every night you try and make it different.
Of course.
You do it live, you hear if it works instantly.
Right. Yep,
That
true,
crowd lets you know if you're being a funny character, if you try a little
It's like
joke and
being
they
a
don't
comedian.
laugh. Yeah, you go, oh,
stand
that
up.
didn't
Yeah,
work. If you're going for that emotion, if you don't hear the old lady in front and go, you know, you ain't hitting it right.
Right.
So when you go into TV, you haven't got anyone. You've got execs, you've got camera crew, you've got, but no one's giving you any feedback.
It's different.
So when it airs, sometimes you go, oh, I didn't want it like that. I was looking to give it. I didn't, because they're editing it without you as well.
Right.
So there's different factors to it, but I feel your sentiment is there is right. But like people like Samuel, I can see the actors who have had a theatre background because there's certain things they do that you go, yeah, that's that. You've looked deeper.
He's serious.
Yeah, you're in.
So do you think that, based on what you said about the live audience stuff, because a lot of our favourite shows growing up, for an example, Fresh Prince,
Absolutely.
recording the live audience, front of a live audience, you could see that was done in front of like audience, because even when they give you the behind the curtains look, and they used to say like, yo, we used to change things up on the spot, because we do option A, that doesn't hit, we will go to the next scene or whatever,
modify.
and then we'll modify it again with option B. And if option B hits, and it's like, right, we got that in the can. That's what it is. And as an actor, I'm assuming you're looking at people's eyes, you're feeding from there. So if it's low energy, that can impact your performance as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's that energy.
Yeah.
When it's live and you're hitting it, you just feel it. You don't even have to question. You're like, I know I'm in this.
It's a zone.
Yeah, you're just in it, and you look at your other actors like, this is the one time.
Gotcha.
This feels good. But then in the same breath, you feel the opposite.
So I've done acting for a little bit. I've done a little piece.
Is that class as acting? No.
Yeah.
What? Those videos there. They class as acting though.
Listen, I'm not going to talk about them because I know about these videos too.
You know what I mean?
Don't think we don't know.
So there was a film called The Big I Am. Michael Madsen, Harvey So Solid, a couple other. Who's the guy from Hooligans? Actor.
The white guy.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of those
Kind
type of
I
roles.
forgot his name. But anyway,
He was in EastEnders, I think.
I forgot his name.
But cool.
When I went to a set for the first time, and it was trailers everywhere, and you sit in a trailer and you wait for your call, and then they go, okay, cool, we want you to do this, and this. These are your lines. Boom, 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 boom. Push comes to shove. It's much different to what I suppose to just being in the theatre.
Oh, massively.
Because the theatre is more of a camaraderie. It's more intimate.
Absolutely.
100%. Where films seem like you're a little bit detached. Obviously, you got to know what you're doing, and you know what I mean. If you're one of the main actors, you got to be on point with lines and stuff like that. But yeah, it does seem like a different. But if you've got both in the bag, which I know you have, I can see that you've now upgraded as an actor, and you use those things as more of training wheels.
Yeah.
So based on what I'm saying, do you prefer movies and TV shows or is it the theatre that your heart is?
My heart is a live audience. Absolutely. Because I love the instant response to your work. I love to know if it's working instantly, because then the next day I'm always thinking, how do I spice that up? How do I change that? I never want it to get stale. So that's me, and I love that. And I love that instant connection. I'm not a person who likes to wait and watch myself on screen and go, how does everyone else feel about this now? Like we talk about Netflix and it's everywhere now, and you go, I don't know how I'm affecting with this household, because... And then you go on social media and you go, well, I just got this one man who just wants to tell me I didn't look this way or that way. Like, big man, what's your problem? Like, then you get that vibe. The problem is, though, unfortunately, with the industry is I love theatre, but TV's where the money's at.
TV's where the
like TV and film, that's paying my bills. So certain times I have to turn down the theatre job and go, I can't really take that on right now because the TV bag is a bigger bag. So it's a hard one. They could level up. I'll be happy days to stay in theatre, but it can't work.
How was it acting with Idris in that?
You know what?
Turn Up Charlie.
Idris is one of the coolest guys ever. And like you said about how it can be so detached and it's not like that camaraderie when you're doing TV. Idris, it's his show. He's superstar. He's running the thing.
Right.
I'm turning up doing my little cameo with Idris and the man, then we turn up. Yeah. He could have been like, yeah, cool, do his thing. Nice, come on, we're vibes in, he's busting Joe. We've got the decks out. He DJs, we're talking about the DJ. He's trying to build everyone's part. He's one them for the man.
He's one of them.
Absolutely. He's not out there to go, how good am I? He's out to go, how good are we? And that's why you see in his interviews, he's just a true man. He's one of us. He gets it. He's humble. He's amazingly
wicked.
successful because he's talented.
Yeah.
But he's not allowed that to change his outlook. And I think that's a beautiful thing to see.
He's still down to earth.
Absolutely. Like, we were talking about tunes for time. They're like running records and busting joke and even line changes like, brother, you look so much younger than me. Let's run this line instead of that line. Just feeling it. And good people.
I like you said that, man, because it has changed my opinion. Because there's a long time I didn't like Idris. Because I remember I was somewhere. I was somewhere.
You your gal.
No, he didn't. No.
See the pressure. See the eyebrows.
Nah, I've always rated him as an actor.
You know what I'm saying?
And I've always felt like he must be real cool. Because you could tell, like, certain people exuberate coolness, right? Do you know what I mean? And, like, but I remember one time I was somewhere, and I think I was at a bar or something, and he came up on the TV screen in, like, an advert for Sky or something.
Yeah, Sky Q.
And the fine lady I was speaking to, her whole concentration.
I knew it was to do with
just
jam.
changed. And I was just like, I was struggling to bring it back. Because like, oh my gosh, Idris is there. And then for a minute, we was talking about Idris. I was like, yo, but like, Idris ain't going to be paying for these drinks. All this meal that's coming out. Allow me, I'm not. And in a way, I was going to say, oh yeah, we're third cousins, you know. But I thought, I don't want to do that. She goes, oh, when can I meet you? And so it's like, oh, next week.
But that is the thing about the industry, though, is we get exposed because we come into people's houses through TV and blah, blah, blah. So people have a different connection with you. And it's that vibe there where you don't flex with him, you don't know about that. But next time you saw him, a week later, you go, I never like that guy, you know. And it's because of the energy that you got when you were trying to do your thing. And you're like, but I don't even know. Like, I would have certified your team. We were together and I said, this is my done. Like, we roll. Babe, you got a good one here.
Yeah, I had to catch myself like, nah, we can't. No one, what was it? No one wins when the family feuds. I had to stop myself. I was like, nah, man, I can't be mad at another brother because the woman is just so infatuated with him. And that's the thing. He's got a long list of different. It's a diverse list.
What GQ hottest man of the year? Vibes. Like, it's dangerous. Like,
smooth like cocoa butter on a stove, bro. Yeah.
So Darren, what would you say is the hardest part of your career so far in terms of just the pitfalls or anything that you've experienced on the way up?
I think for anybody, especially in our industry as a performer, it's taking rejection. Rejection you get. It's funny, I read something a couple of days ago and a young actor was talking about, if you know actors, these are things to look out for. And it's the amount of rejection that you get as a performer. You get more rejection than anybody else in any other career. And I was like, I've never looked at it like that because the amount of auditions you go for far outweigh the ones you get. Like, you get a handful. So you've got to live with that. And you've forever got to energize yourself to go, this one I could get, this one I could get, no. Okay, this one I could get, this one I could get, no. And that is hard. But for me, I feel that then gives you the strength to go, do you really want it? Because if you really want it, you stay in. Yeah. If you don't want it, you realise that this ain't for you.
Ain't for you.
So come out. So
it's a graft.
It's a graft. And it's a marathon. And that's what I show people as well. Certain people bust and they get the break and they go clear. And I praise all of them. Like, every man get their success in their own time. But you have to understand that everyone's journey is different. Everyone's different. And I think I have been lucky enough to be exposed to people who have gone clear quickly. Right. And friends of mine who have like been certified there and then they've gone clear and I'm like, wicked.
Oh, yeah.
And been able to learn from mistakes they've made, for situations they fell into. So I think for me, the hardest thing has been accepting the no's and trying to stay in your lane. Right. Because at times you want to try and force it and go, if I do that, if I do this, that. No. Yeah. Stay true to you. And it will come. So yeah, that's me.
I feel that.
Okay, let me know if this is a real thing because I think I know the guy you're talking about. He's tall, dark hair, and he's in all these gangs of type
he's in that football hooligan.
Them type of things there. Same with Liam Neeson. I feel like Liam Neeson won't do a film unless bullets are flying, right? So I say all that to say this, like bringing it home to say Top Boy, for example. Do you think there's a danger in which, while we're seeing these actors and actresses, or just say it's actors, I don't like to separate the two genders, so these actors are putting in their blood, sweat, and tears in this role. Do you think there's a danger that they may miss out on certain roles because people, those that are casted for these roles, just see them as you're good for playing the Sully, you're good for playing the Jax, Yeah. Do you think, is that like an actual thing, or is it?
It's a massive thing.
Good question.
It's a massive thing. And I think that's one thing that as a black male, I had to kind of navigate early in my career. Like when we spoke about the bill and stuff like that. I did the bill because it was your rite of passage. Everyone got that tick box.
Of course, yeah.
But then there was a show that was on TV regular that was Crime Watch.
Yeah.
And they did the reconstructions. And I remember my agent was like, they phoned again, you want to do Crime Watch? And I was like, I can't do Crime Watch. Like on a real, I can't fall into that. Also, certain time, there were certain incidents that I went, I actually know the Donny that's there, like, so I can't really be doing the reconstruction too tough. So it was bad. So like you can kind of fall into that. And also TV kind of dictates the narrative of what our casting is. So UK TV, it went for a period of time where they were casting all the bad boys. Every show had a bad black boy. Did the evil eye, the screw face in someone. And I don't have that face. Like, I have to be real. My face is a little bit now. I'm a bit warm.
I was going to, do you know what? It's crazy because I was going to say exactly that. When I see you, when I've looked at your show reels and I've looked at stuff that you've done in the past, and you just got a very charismatic style of acting where I don't think you're restricted in any way, but you're more of a bubbly, free-spirited, vibrant, funny, that kind of character. And I feel like you don't want to obviously be pigeonholed in any way, shape or form. But again, I guess when roles come and you've got to kind of roll with the punches, so to speak. Do you see what I'm saying?
And it's also where you fit because those roles weren't right for me. So certain times the agent would go, they want to see you for this show, that show, that show, like the Silent Witness with the thing at one time and everyone doing the crime shows. But I weren't the criminal. Like, I don't have that face. I don't have that energy. But there are certain men who just have it in a look. So they were busting me that. But for me, I had the different stereotype that I had to avoid because I fell into children's TV quite easily.
Right, gotcha.
So I had a big following there. Like, I'd bust a supermarket and the parents wouldn't even know who I was because the kids are running at me. And they're like, listen, when you're cooking the food, your child is watching me. And that's what it's about. But my agent got worried going, if you get stuck there, your CV says, he's just children's TV. Then how can I suddenly be in a startup, for example, or I've got to twist and turn and change the tide. So you always have to be wary of that. And I think the guys who are now doing the Top Boys and doing those things, certain of them are young and they're fresh and they're raw and their energy is wicked. And I hope that their management allows them to go, when this bubble done, can you put the suit on? Can you put the nice dress on? And can they get you that role? Because you're a good actor. You've got the exposure. Now elevate you to play that. But again, the writing needs to be out there. The roles need to be out there. Exactly. And I'm trying to make sure that for me, I want the comedies. I want the fun guys. I want the straight guy. I want like, he's got energy. He's got a vibe. But I'm not going to be the gunman. Like, there's a bag of gunman there. Let them man be the gunman.
Jewish Inquirer.
Listen, badness. Good fun. That guy is a good guy.
That guy?
All day long.
You.
Yeah.
Because when I watched the way that you came across in that reel, it just seemed so, what's the word I'm looking for? So present and so like now, where we're talking about racism and we're talking about the nuances between how a Jew, a black, an Asian person would react or interact in society. And the fact of the matter is we're all in society rubbing shoulders with each other. And there is a way of actually just being ourselves, understanding that we're from different parts of the earth, but still being able to know, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like
we're all a bit messed up.
Yeah, we're all a bit, you know what I mean? We're all a bit like, do you see what I'm saying?
We all got that edge. We all got that something that we'll say that we shouldn't really be saying about somebody else. So are we going to get our back up if someone says something about us? And it was a lovely scene. I say, when I got the script, I was like, yes, let me spit that narrative. Because I'm coming from a space, I thought I've been racially abused, but I'm going to go, let me spin this one on you. Because now you feel upset, and now she feels upset. And guess what? We're all like that, innit? And let me take my thing and bounce, and leave you with that. And I think those are the characters that excite me. Small or big, but I like to drop something to make someone sitting in the front room, especially the elders. You like to go, you hear what he said? And it hits them, rather than just being the hoodie man running around doing a madness.
Stereotype.
Yeah, I want to play bigger because our community is bigger, our culture is bigger.
100%.
So I'm never going to begrudge a man doing those shows. Do them because we need to keep doing them. But we also need to do the other things as well. We need the next man in the next suit, wearing the next team, doing the next thing.
Yeah, you need to make sure your portfolio is diversified.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, for an example, perfect case of this, he's transitioned on, but like Chadwick Boseman.
Absolutely.
He was, in a way, being kind of pigeonholed as, if you need someone to portray a very famous black figure, go get him. But then he was doing these other roles where it was a case of like, all right, cool, I could be Jackie Robinson 42. I could be James Brown, which he murked, by the way.
Killed it.
But then I can also go and bring to the forefront this character that a lot of people in the know about, but has never been displayed on the screen before. And when he was introduced in Civil War, I felt like it kind of took away, in a good way, what we were watching, because it was basically Captain America versus Iron Man. Two different ideologies. One guy wants to be like under the thumb of the government because he feels like we need to take accountability. Yeah. The other guy's like, hey, we're the safest hands around here. We can't jump when they ask us to. We might not save everyone, but we'll save the majority of them. And while that's going on, here comes this guy with this presence. And you can't deny it. He was just standing there and he just looks around. And then you're like, you don't even have to know Black Panthers, but you have to be like, whoa, this guy, who's this guy? So I think it's important. I say all that to say this. Chadwick Boseman on a lot of portrayals of famous black people in our culture, but then he goes and does as T'Challa. And then he brings that to no forefront. I just think, I hope my brothers and sisters who are in this business, including Darren, just keep an eye on that, because it's good to diversify your portfolio and play a Killmonger, where you just played a guy in Fruitville Station who got shot down for no reason, but then you could go be Creed. Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's important because Hollywood are looking. Yeah. They are looking. Yeah. The internet and everything now has made it.
The scope, is changing. The viewpoint is changing. Yeah. And it is about being daring as a performer. And that challenge for yourself.
Yep.
And going, how big am I? How much ability do I back myself? And seeing like Chadwick was a prime example of that. And that's someone who I've respected his career wholeheartedly, and God bless him for everything he put out there, because he was able to transfer himself into different things and use his status to go, I can do that role because I know what I've done here.
Right.
I've built the platform to go, I can take this risk. It's not going to damage what I've done.
Right.
And I think that's what, in your early stages of your career, people try and guide you to not take risks.
Right.
Stay in your lane, stay here. But for me, I'm like, you don't know your lane yet.
Yeah.
You try things out. You can try.
Find your way.
Yeah.
Find your way.
The only thing is social media makes it a bit harder to do that because someone's straight in. If you don't hit the mark they expect, they're going to make a comment, they're going to make it. You just got to have a strong back.
So, go on. No, I was just going to say, do you think social media has been a detriment to actors in regards to the craft?
You know what? It's elevated it in many aspects, and then it pulls it down in one. It's like two steps forward, one step back sometimes, because it's allowed people to get exposure quicker. There are people who have jumped further, quite far up the ranks because their social media presence is strong and they got a good game like that and they promote themselves well. What it also does, you get a following quicker. So you do something nice, people jump on it and go. The other aspect of it is that everyone's now a critic.
Yeah.
Everyone's got an opinion on your work. That hashtag goes far. Yeah. If you do something great, it's amazing for you because suddenly everyone's talking about how amazing you were. Yeah. But you have a wobble, you have an off day. To some people, remember, this is a percentage of everybody. It's not everybody. Yeah. But if that voice is loud suddenly, it can affect you. And I think that's why it's something very difficult to navigate. And I think as an actor, you've got to kind of work out how you play your social media game and how you allow that to drive your career and drive you. Because if you let it take hold, it's a wild ride. It's wild.
Now we're in this streaming era now. And we just touched on it. We're talking about the internet and how diverse it is now, and the room that you have as an actor. Are you happier that you are in these times now, or would you say you would have preferred to have been someone of an older generation that was out before? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously now it's a different situation. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and who was Omar Epps? Was talking about his career and where he came from, and the fact that he kind of just had to get in where he fit in because obviously it was a lot of gatekeeping back then. But now, obviously, now you can start owning your own stuff. You can start putting out your own stuff, building a camaraderie of people and working on your own projects. So, and I say that to say this. How do you feel about those times and the times that you are now in? Is there more scope now?
Oh, there is a lot more scope. And we're still nowhere near open as much as we should be open. And all the guys that have gone before, America, UK, everybody have, especially from a black perspective, have allowed me to have far more range in my career. And I respect every single one. And even if we just talk on a UK level, like the Idrises, the David Harewoods, the Adrian Lesters, like just the UK, Asher D. Like, let's not forget, like, he was early doors doing like Storm Damage and stuff like that. And he was Grange Hill back in the day. Yeah. Reggie Yates, man like that, who were what at that time were the gatekeeper gave us one. And we all remember that time when there was one in a show, there was one coming through, one. Now we have a series. Yes. You look at Top Boy and you go, it's a series. There's a bag of roles, there's a bag of opportunities. Beautiful. And layers of characters and ranges. And for me, I'm excited to be in this era. Yeah. If you said what's gone before or now, I'm happy to be in now. However, I'd love to come back and go again. Because I feel the generation to come are going to get a lot. Because we're building another stream. Like, there are people like Nathan Byron out there. There's Johnny Lee Wright. There's writers. There's the whole guys from the Bloods trilogy, the comedy. Like, these guys are making stuff. They're producing their own. You've got Kyle in Ghost. Like, you've got a BBC series that is based on a black boy with a white girl, and he can't see the ghost and she can. And they're living in this mansion. That's crazy. And never before would that be a flagship BBC show with a black man on the lead. Yeah. And that's the change. Yeah. We're there now. These shows can happen where we're not just seen as a bad man. He doesn't have to have a ghetto past. He can just be funny. He can just be him. And I think that's why I'm excited about where I am now and feel like I'm part of something that is going to be a lovely place to leave a platform for the ones to come. And I just got to hand the baton now. It's a relay race. I've done my mileage. I've still got some miles to go. Yeah. But I'm hoping when I pass it back, then man can run through and live a better life.
Yeah, big up those names. Big up Damon Idris as well, killing it in Snowfall. Mr. Frankenstein. Can you let listeners know, right? Because I think it's the same thing with music as well. But like, can you let them know how there's a lot more on the table than just being the actor or the rapper or the singer or the football player? Like, for you, an example, I'm assuming you've got an agent. You've probably got someone who does your press. There's something. Do you have anyone that you like communicate with in regards to like your skill set and how you can like dialect and stuff like that?
Yeah, you got your coach to speak to.
So like, there's those roles there. So if you can't make it as an actor, there's those roles there. Then we haven't scratched the surface of filming. We haven't scratched the surface of being a writer. You could be the costume set designer. Like, there's a lot of roles that you can have in that industry without being in the face or the place, right? So can you just like break it down to like the importance of, if you're trying to get into this industry, we're not saying you don't have the skill set to be the actor, but sometimes it does take a certain something inside you to give you that. But you shouldn't let that dishearten you because there's so many other streams to be in that industry.
Absolutely. I think if you've got a passion for the entertainment industry, and remember it's an industry, there are so many different parts to it. Like, if the rejection for you is too much, or if you don't feel like you're getting the breaks you want, step back and go, what else am I good at? There are so many transferable skills that can be used in the industry. Even on a base level of, you may be an actor and it's not going well, but when you go home, you're a demon in the kitchen. Like, you're all about that. Suddenly you go, this skill here, I transfer that to catering, because on set, the love you get if you can whip up a good something, what? Living the dream. Suddenly you're the number one catering company, you're flying the world, and that's you. So everyone has skills, and I think that's what we sometimes forget. When we go into the performing world, you go, I'm an actor, I've just got to act. Suddenly you're forgetting all the other good things you're good at. You may be someone who's always good with numbers. You may become the accountant for these events. You may be the money man. And everyone knows the money man's an important person. So please don't forget, if you're talented, you're not just got one talent. We are all blessed with so many skills, and our industry needs all of you. Like, I've been blessed enough to turn up on set and seen black caterers or see young up-and-coming hair and makeup crew and gone, it's amazing to see that transference, to go, you're on set. Like, the amount of times as black actors will know, we'll turn up on set and the makeup team go, I really hope that how to look after your hair. And let certain times, I get a shape up before I reach.
Course,
right now, I've got the hat on and the hood because it ain't done yet. But I turn up and it's done because I don't want you to have that worry to go, I don't really know because we've not done much exposure on that. And it's uncomfortable for everybody. Now the industry's going, learn those skills, build that. If you're someone who go, I love braiding hair, I'm amazing at it, there's a role for you out there in film. So I think it's looking at your skills and going, every skill you have, it come like the army. You know when they go, you don't have to be carrying a gun in the army, it's transferable. Same with the arts industry. Your skills are transferable, you can be used elsewhere.
So you hear that, people, you hear that, people? It's not just about being a face, you can also be behind the scenes, and it's just as satisfying. You know what I mean?
Listen, when you watch a film, everyone gets credited.
Yo,
everybody gets credited.
I'm a geek. I will sit there and I'm looking at names, FX artist this. And you say about the catering stuff, like, or being a chef, sorry. Catering, any set you walk on, there's gonna be caterers there. You're never gonna walk on a set and they tell the actors and whatever, bring your own snacks in because there's always a caterer there. So if you're doing bomb food, like me, sit there, even if it's not a Marvel film, waiting for end credits, I will sit there and I just like seeing names because you never know. There might be a name there like, Morgan Heights. What? No way. Hold on a minute. Boom, 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 boom. Bro, did you work on? Yeah, I did. Fam, what? Like, just, now it's a beautiful space with the internet era, social media era, your reach.
Streaming era.
The streaming era, your
streaming
reach
era is important.
Amazing.
Last thing I want to speak to you about, Darren, again, we spoke about the diversity and everything else. This streaming era where because I'm basing it on music and I've been a part of the music industry for a long time. And now streaming has changed with how distribution is and the way that obviously you got Netflix now and all the other platforms. Do you see yourself doing more of a TV show? And if you do see yourself doing a TV show in any of those on any of those platforms, would it be something you would look into in owning stuff like that as well?
I think that's the next step. I feel that for my generation, it's that we have to now become the gatekeepers of the art as well. We have to elevate ourselves to go, we're in front of the camera, how do we get into being at the table when the decision is being made? How do we get ourselves, and like shout out to Daniel Kaluuya, who's just done, he's got the kitchen coming out, he's at the table. He's gone, I'm bringing the meal for everybody. And I think that's where our generation has been privileged by the generation before who fought to get in the door. Now we're in the door, now we can go, let's go the other side and start helping that way. And I think it's that balance that I'm definitely about, and looking at going, what can we, not as in own, and I think sometimes we get misdirected when we talk about owning stuff. It's not about I need to own the cake. Have a piece of that cake. Whatever the percentage is, 2, 5, whatever. Once you've got a percentage, that's a build. That's where we need to get to, that suddenly I want to be able to get to a stage where someone can come to me with an idea and I can find the money for that.
Absolutely.
And that's where we need to get ourselves to. Because there's a bag of ideas out there, and young kids, even big grown folk, we've got ideas. We've all got a story. And it's just getting it to the right table to go, I can fund that for you. And right now you've got certain gatekeepers who don't want to fund that story because it doesn't resonate with them. But if it resonates for me, I'd love to be able to be 5, 6 years down the line to go, you know what? I can run that project for you. I know the man who can do the lighting and the sound and the blah, blah, blah. I know the catering brother. We can do this on a budget and then get it at the table.
Absolutely.
We go to Netflix and go, we've made it. And that's the idea. Go, it's made. We all own a share. Everybody eats better. And that's, I've always been a person who, we can all eat. That's a motto, like fast food. I'm about, let's all eat. Everyone can eat. You don't have to have the whole cake because that just don't taste right.
Doesn't make sense.
Especially when you're eating it by yourself.
There you go. Everyone cut a piece. My piece may be a little bit bigger than yours to start with. But I gave you a piece. And you can get more of this cake. The more you bring, the more I'm going to give you a piece.
And that's the thing, Darren, I really, as I've gotten older and as I've experienced so much with music, it's I won't say a regret, but it's things if I had known about before, I would have put certain things in place now. And because at the time when I was doing music, you had to get your music on radio. It was all about radio and spins and stuff like that. It wasn't so much the internet, where now you can find a man, chop up your videos, direct it, boom, 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 get it out, and then it might take. Look, have you noticed the way that even how the Bel Air started?
Yeah.
Where my man just put a little show reel together.
Done it all on his own, put it on the internet.
Did it on his own, boom,
crazy.
put it out, and someone's like, "Wow, we'll pick that up."
Yeah.
And now he's got a stake in it. And I feel like we need to just drive that home a little bit more. And I think we'll do that, obviously, as we go along with this podcast. And just keep telling the youth, especially, and anyone who's in the industry, acting, music, blah, 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 start finding ways of owning your stuff, owning it. Even if it's just 1%. But if the thing does 1 million, guess what? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that's very important.
And also building within your team. Look at your team. Like we said about the industry being, there's lots of different skill sets. You may have that brethren who has a different skill set to you. Bring him on board. Share the pie with your people. Go, let's all eat off this. Then as it grows, there's going to be a bigger pie to share. Because sometimes we want to hold on to that little bag.
Yeah.
But go, that's not what we should be aiming for. If that's all you want, then don't do it. Look for the big bag. But let's build the big bag together. When I started out, a friend of mine who was in the industry said to me, Darren, he goes, if you're going to do this thing, I'm going to say this to you, don't forget it. There's no limit to what you can achieve. That's the limit of your own imagination. Right. And I was like, all right, I was young, I get it. Now I'm older, I go, it's so important to live and dream and to know that even if someone hasn't thought that idea, can't see that idea, if you believe in it, go and achieve it. Make it happen. There is a like-minded person out there who will connect with you, but you have to stay invested in it. That's the way this industry will continue. But that's a transferable idea to anything you want to do. If you believe in it, there's no limit. There's no limit. If you believe up there, go through and make it happen.
Absolutely. I believe that too. I've always been that. I live in Fantasy Island, bro.
What? Live there?
I live in Fantasy all the time, bro. It's the idea and then it takes shape. So, yeah.
Sometimes when it's hard to wake up, that gets you up. That idea of going, boy, it's great outside, I'm tired, life's hard, boy, I'm trying. If I get up today and I try and move a step closer to the dream, I'm closer to the dream.
I see your daughters in adverts and stuff like that.
Listen, I had to bring the team in. Listen,
is that the move forward?
For me, COVID changed up the dynamic and allowed casting to change a little while. It was with a bubble system, so I did a lot of commercials, and it was, have you got a bubble? Have you got a bubble? So I exploited the skill set that I had around me. I've got fun, wonderful, talented individuals. My family are talented. I was like, let's give them an opportunity. But I'm very protective of stuff like that. Because
of course.
In the arts, I've seen the light and the dark. I've seen how bad and how exposing it can be, and I've seen people not be treated the best way they can. So I've been lucky enough to expose them to it and be an overseer and be around them. And now they're moving on. If they want to continue, great. But for me, it was fun for them. It should be fun as a kid. If you're a parent and you've got a child who's got ability, if they want to do it, let them do it. 100%. But when it becomes you forcing your dream, back away. Back away. Like, we're all them dads who want their child to be a footballer and all of that in there. And you go, did your child want to be a footballer or they want to be a basketball player? Or they want to be a doctor? Because you love football, they may not. And sometimes you've got this gauge that dream saying, this enthusiasm to push them to commit to something, but don't force it because it's your thing. And allow them to go, I don't like that no more. I don't want that. Cool. And while they're doing it, let it be fun. Every experience should be fun.
100%.
All right. I got one more for you. I don't want to ask the generic question of who's your favorite actors, because that horse has been beaten to death and sold in Tesco's as lasagna. But if you were doing an Ocean's 11 style movie, besides yourself being in there, obviously, who else would you want in that movie? So let's say, we won't make it super long. Let's say it's you plus 6 other actors. Who would you want in that movie with you?
All right. All right.
Good question.
That's nice.
Yeah, I just changed it from
right. Very well.
Thanks, man. You're weak.
All right. I'm going to start. Obviously, I've got to put Denzel in to start with. He's got to be a part of that. Absolutely. So he's got to be the head of the team. So he's got to lead me through.
Right.
I've got to have Halle in there, absolutely, because that's just love for life. She's got to be there somewhere. Just for the head turn, you know what I mean?
As she matured as an artist. She's so mature.
Still looking young.
Yeah, dangerous. Now, all right, that's 2. That's a solid 2.
Yep.
If I'm going to come back to the manor and bring some of the man them in as well, because a friend of mine, Anthony Welsh, I think he's just a phenomenal individual.
Big him up.
Phenomenal actor. And
what's he been in for?
He did Start Up.
Right.
He's got a number of projects about to bust right now.
Cool.
For me, he's going to go clear this year. He's going clear. So Anthony, have to be
What's his
involved.
name?
Anthony Welsh.
Okay, we look out for
big
it.
up. Yeah.
Dangerous, like, he'd have to be involved too. Who else would I roll
So we got
in
3
there?
more.
I've got 3 more. Robert Downey Jr. for me.
Ooh.
The energy that you just need in them kind of roles.
yeah.
Like,
All
just-
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's gonna go somewhere with me.
Yeah.
We can bounce to see.
Yeah, of course.
I got to balance up my female. Can't got enough females in there.
You got 2.
All right, I think. Do I go the Queen and go Angela Bassett? Do I go there? Do I go like certified Queen? Because my girl needs to get Academy recognition now because
what's going
she's
on?
done. When you deep her career, she, like you said about Chadwick playing the icons, she played the icons.
Yeah.
Like Tina,
She's
everybody.
Yeah.
Like you think who T'Challa's mum?
Yeah.
That's his mum.
Exactly.
Like she's everybody.
100%.
Like she's got to get involved too. She take a seat.
Sorry,
take a seat.
just for clarification, because I'm building this film in my head like I'm directing it, but when you said Halle Berry and Angela Bassett, is that like a love scene, including yourself in there?
You know
Is it
what?
like the 3 of you, or
I thought about it. I thought about it. I looked at that scene. I thought, could that one? I don't think it can.
Okay, cool.
I think it's gonna have to be one of them ones that Halle and me have got the eyes.
Okay, cool.
And then I tried to make the move, and she's like, behave now.
Right.
She, you know, she's like, behave. But she gives me enough of the behave to make her, oh, she quite liked it. Or
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And Andrew looked at me again, well, you need to distress yourself down.
Okay.
She give me that big
Mother
woman talk.
figure.
Yeah.
She'd
Say
run
no
it.
more.
She'd be Denzel sitting there going,
Oh,
watch them.
right. Okay, cool.
Watch
All right.
them.
Okay, cool. All right.
Keep
So
this
to
young
make
buck
sure.
under control. Yeah.
Streets want to know.
You got one more.
Yeah, all right, one more. All right. You know what? I've got to take David Harewood. I've got to take David. Because, like, for someone from... I grew up watching David, and I got the privilege to do a play with him. I did 2.
Nice.
And for someone to just take you under their wing, he just went like that.
Priceless.
And I was young. And he just gave me so much personally. But then watching him... When you do stage and you watch a man daily just there... The level of learning is immense. And for me, icon. So that they'll be my team.
All right, so David, Robert Downey Jr., your brethren, Anthony
Welsh.
the Queens, Halle Berry, and Miss Angela Bassett.
Yep.
You also said Denzel.
Yep.
And then obviously the star of the movie.
Got to be myself. I'm there.
Big Darren, innit?
I'm not gonna lie. All the rest of the startup crew don't hate me. I could have put everybody in there. United goes. Certified. Put everybody in there. You know.
That's the starting 7.
We can every man's got a cameo. Every man's got a cameo. Don't worry.
We got you.
You got me. See, maybe cough like choked. I felt the pressure in my throat. The man again. Oh, listening back again. He did not say my name. So I can feel the DMs going off right now with them listening. Okay.
Nah, that's the start. That's the starting 7. And then what we'll do is we'll probably incorporate a breaking out jail scene.
Oh, fully. Yeah.
Because we need to go get some expertise to understand the situation.
We've got to deep it in.
That's where the startup man then will come
Come
through.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorted, bro. Don't
And
worry.
then I know Ricky has to get a little somewhere. Ricky my certified brother. I got to slide it back in there somewhere. So look, every man's covered. Don't worry, I got you.
It's calm.
So Darren, is there any projects that you're working on at the moment that you need to let us know about?
No, I think I've just got the theatre show that says coming out. That'll be 7th to the 16th over in Riverside Studios.
Yep.
And other than that, the agent's got me busy.
Good.
There's a lot of things in pies, but ain't cooked yet.
Okay, cool.
So once pies cook, you man will be the first.
Just let us know.
Absolutely.
And obviously now you've been here, you're a friend of the show, bro.
Listen, I've been
so you're
supporting this team for a
welcome
minute.
anytime. You're welcome anytime. Pass through, you know where we are now. Socials, let them know.
You can find me on all of them under the same thing, Original Heartman. That's me, Original Heartman. You can't find nobody else but me, so I'm there.
See it there. Thank you for coming, my brother.
Much appreciated, man.
pleasure.
Much appreciated, bro.
Fast Food Podcast, myself, Drizzy Freckles, Morgan Heights. Shout out to Trim Trimmer.
Each and every
Shout
time.
out to Jojo Montana. We'll be back again in a fortnight. We want to thank all our guests. Shout out to Lateef Lovejoy and big up our special guest today, Darren Hart. We'll see you again soon. Make sure you get a safe journey home.
Yes.
And we are signing out. Peace.
The Fast Food Podcast.
I go by the name of Morgan Heights. Trim Trimmer, who's got the keys to my bimmer. Drizzy, Saka Freckles. We are back for a brand new season, season 5 of the Fast Food Podcast. Remember, it is available on all DSPs, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Podcasts. Visual episodes are available on our YouTube channel. That is Fast Food Podcast TV. Peace. Yeah.